Right, it seems like we've got people joined, so we'll get started now, and whoever is to come can join later. So first of all, thanks everyone for joining today. Appreciate you guys taking the time. This is the first webinar of a part of series that we'll be doing on features that we've delivered and also stuff that we're planning. So if there is something that you would like us to cover, we'd love to hear what's most relevant to you. Quick note that this session is recorded, so you can go over things later if needed and share it with your team. The format for today will be, we'll go through why stuck orders are an issue, basically the use cases that led us to create Order Triage, how we categorize these particular issues, and then we'll look at a live demo of how Order Triage can help with these. We'll also cover some of the benefits and also where we're heading next as we look to improve things further. There will be a Q&A at the end, so if you have any questions, please write them down and as we go, and we can address them later. Before I jump in, I also wanted to point out that this feature was developed and was shaped by client engagement. So with client engagement, it basically shows us how critical that having those conversations are as part of our process, because that helps us deliver these types of solutions that have the most impact. So getting into it, first we'll talk about the issue. So stuck orders are costing you more than you think. We notice that stuck orders are not just unrealized revenue, and it's an issue that affects your customer and an issue that not only affects your customer retention, but also clogs up your processes. It's something that builds up over time and becomes a support ticket, and then eventually a customer complains, and eventually, they end up shopping elsewhere. Not only that, but at the same time, your inventory is tied up and you can't sell those items. Your team ends up firefighting to resolve these orders, and before long, the healthy orders in the queue are getting less attention because everyone is chasing problems. Initial conversations revealed that a lot of the time, the conversations usually started with a customer called about their order, or a store escalated the issue, or someone had run a report or several reports to find what was stuck. So teams are mostly reactive in dealing with this kind of orders and not able to get ahead of it. And if you are being reactive to them, sometimes the damage is already done. So how do we identify and categorize these orders that cause issues? We've broken it down into 5 categories. So first one is age fulfillment. So these are orders that have taken, that are assigned to a dispatch location, however it hasn't progressed and it's breached SLA. This then leads to customer dissatisfaction, which we want to avoid. Aged arrival, this relates to click and collect orders, where another store is shipping an order or the stock required to a particular store for click and collect. And these orders haven't arrived in time. So again, it creates uncertainty and affects customers' trust. Backordered orders, so orders that are waiting on stock replenishment that need proactive management. So, you're waiting for an item to be replenished before you can fulfill an order. What's happening with those particular orders? You can see those there as well. Unrouted orders. Now, these are orders that have been placed but not assigned to fulfillment location for a variety of reasons, and we'll go over these later. But these kind of age silently with no visibility because it's not really assigned to a location, so no one's kind of really proactively managing them. And the last one is age collection. So these are click and collect orders that are not been picked up. And we've noticed more of these lately, especially around peak times, because it really ties up inventory. So we've noticed with some of our customers that the collection locations are tied up with lots of these orders, and there's no space for healthier orders, so to speak. So now that we know what they are, let's see how Order Triage helps deal with them. So Order Triage is a focus tool. And we wanted to make sure that you can deal with these orders really quickly. So there's 3 easy steps. Firstly, we identify these orders in the categories mentioned. And second, you can then prioritize these orders by type, age, and severity, and focus on the most critical bottlenecks first. And lastly, the most powerful step, you can take direct action on these orders with the context you need, without having to switch between screens or go looking at separate reports. Everything you need to resolve is right there. And I will now switch to our demo environment to show you how that works. So let me start from here. So this is our eStart e-commerce demo platform. Now, this is the same. The auto triage functionality is also in VRA and is accessible by the same menu option. So if I go into orders, you'll see auto triage down here. Sorry. And if you cannot see this menu option, or if your team doesn't have access to that page, the people that need it, please talk to our CS team, because this is a permission-based setting to make this visible for the user role. So looking at the auto triage screen, there's quite a few filters at the top initially. So if you've got multiple websites where orders are coming from, you can sort it by those. Dispatch points. So if you've got multiple dispatch points and you want to focus on a particular one to see what's in triage at that particular location, at dispatch point, you can do that. Collection stores where click and collect orders are being picked up, you can filter by those. There is a style box here as well where you can enter a style for a particular item, and then have all the orders that are related to that particular style shown in the orders table down below. Priority, so we've got them from priority 1 to 5, but these are like standard express same day delivery priorities that you might have set up in your system. Also, there's a delivery type, so you can filter the orders shown by delivery and click and collect. And then the reasons, which is the 5 reasons that I mentioned. So what is the reason that this particular order has ended up on the triage page? And then we've got the orders table down here. So as you can see, you've got the order row. We can expand that row to see more details about that particular order. The status, there's the order time that it was placed. So you can sort this to see what was the earliest one placed. You can sort it by value. So you know you dealing with the higher value orders first. There's the website, delivery type, priority, reason. And then you have a drop down for actions and options for notes and reroute. So going over the first reason in here, so not routed. So these are the orders that I spoke about that have not got a dispatch location assigned to them, either because we've got routing. So this is only relevant for clients who do routing with us and are using our routing engine. So if those orders have not been routed anywhere or are just sitting in the global pool, those are shown here. And what you can do with them initially is if you look at the order and you're like, okay, this is for something that no longer exists, you can actually void the order right from here. The second thing you can do as part of the actions available for not routed orders is go to the reroute page. So on the reroute page for that particular order, it will actually show you all the different dispatch locations that has that particular item in stock. So from here, you can actually start selecting that, hey, you can actually just do select all, because this tells you that 100% of everything in that order is available at Christchurch, so you can select it all. However, if there are, if you look at the amount available for that particular item and something, is low, so let's say this one said 2, and you're like, well, actually, I'd like to assign that particular item to Auckland store because I know they'll be able to fulfill it better. I don't have confidence in that one. You're able to do that. So what that will do is send those 6 to Christchurch and send that particular one that you selected to Auckland and split that order for you right there and then. So it's quite a powerful tool in terms of making sure your orders get fulfilled and you can do it right from there. Going back to the triage page, and to the other thing also, sorry, before I move on, is to mention that for reroutes and orders that are not routed, you can also look at the notes for it. So some of the times things are not routed, not because it's still sitting in the global pool, but because they were routed somewhere, but were not fulfilled at that location. So pulling up the order notes, which is the notes that you will see on that order page, if you were in the order page, you will probably notice in there things such as, it was assigned to Christchurch dispatch point, and then it was short picked from there, and then it was assigned to Auckland, and then it's short picked from there. So it kind of indicates that that particular item is not available at places. So looking at the notes, you can either choose to reroute it if you have confidence where there is stock, or you can void it at that point because you know that these stores actually don't have the stock. The order was routed there and it wasn't picked. The second option on there, back ordered. Again, so these are stuff that are back ordered, and the only option available at the moment is to cancel them, or enter notes against it to say, okay, this is something that's still coming. The other thing you can do here is if you're looking for a particular item, so that these bikes are not going to be coming, you can actually look at the style and filter all of the orders. So if there was multiple orders with that bike on it, you will seal them in this list, and you can go, well, we're no longer receiving orders for that bike, and come in and void all of the particular orders that have that particular item in it. So really quick and easy way to deal with those. The next is age fulfillment. So again, things that have actually been assigned to a dispatch point but have not fulfilled, and they've breached an SLA. While I'm talking about that, just to let you know, at the moment, what we have is current policies that are set for when an order appears in here. So for age fulfillment, I think the default is set to 4 days. So after an order's been in the system for 4 days, it will show up as age fulfillment. Age arrivals ones are 3 days, and age collection has been set to 7 days. And these are policies that you can either talk to your CS team and get them to modify it for you as you need. So yeah, for age fulfillment orders, these are things that are still assigned to a location but hasn't been fulfilled. So there could be a couple of reasons for this. Either the store that they're assigned to, the dispatch location, they're probably overwhelmed. They've got a backlog of orders. So if you know that, and you know where they're assigned to, you could reroute it to somewhere else because okay, these guys are under the pump. We can reroute it to another dispatch location that can fulfill this quicker. Or you can, or you can notify the dispatch point to say, hey, what's happening with this particular order? We need to get this moving because now it's been a few days. So a few options there from what you can do with it. Aged arrival, so these are the ones that are click and collect orders but have not arrived in store for the customer to come pick it up. Again, these are something that you can either cancel, you can notify the store that actually sent out the order to be like, hey, did you guys actually send it out, or whatever it was, or notify the dispatch point to go, hey, can you please check on this order? Because sometimes these will be sitting in here if on the click and collect screen they have not been marked as collected at the store as well, so you can chase it up. Also, anytime you do one of these actions, they automatically get put in the notes. So anytime you open the notes, you'll be able to see exactly what the history is. So someone coming to the screen and following up on an order, they can always look at notes and see, okay, this has already happened to it, and that was done, a couple of days ago, so I don't have to worry about it now. I can move on to the next one. The last option here is age collection. So these are your click and collect orders that have not been picked up. Now, these ones, again, they have the void or notify customer. If you see that that's been sitting in there for 2 weeks, and your notes will tell you, here's a note here. So notify customer due to age collection in triage. So that's what have happened if that note was captured. You can see that, okay, it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you can actually void the order here. But you can make that decision based on the value as well. So if you see it's of a high value item, you can choose to go, actually, we'll give this customer a bit more grace. The notes just say they needed more time, so we'll hold on to it for a bit longer. So in this way, yeah, it's got enough context in there at the moment to make those decisions around what actions to take, and at the same time, add notes directly from here without having to open up the order page and go into the notes there to record what's happening with it. So as you can see, everything is pulled into a single view, and you don't have to run kind of reports or queries to kind of resolve these. These are already sitting here waiting for you to resolve. So what benefits does that provide us? You are catching orders as soon as they become a problem, dealing with it proactively rather than being reactive. So at the start, I talked about how initially when we spoke to clients, everyone was kind of being reactive. It was always, a client called asking for this order and it's too late by that stage. So using the order triage functionality, you have better visibility of it. You can resolve it faster and you can reduce your backlog pretty quickly as well. So you're getting ahead of the issue and you can inform your customers before it becomes a problem. So you're assuring them that their order is important and being looked after. And obviously that leads to customer confidence and fewer complaints. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about on here that's really exciting that's come as a consequence of having this order triage page is process insights. So over time, this will reveal systemic issues. So if you find that dispatch locations are consistently falling behind, you can then, make a structural change to go and either train the staff there or talk to them about why is it that their fulfillment processes are falling behind and make that change there so that next time you don't get so much stuff coming into triage from that particular location. Or if there are certain carriers that are generating aged arrivals between stores, you can talk to that carrier about their process. Or if there are product lines that always end up in back order, you will start noticing these after a while. And it's something that we can probably incorporate into things that we do in the future to make this more visible as well. But for now, depending on how you use this, these things will start to become more apparent and hopefully you'll be able to fix the processes that create these issues rather than having to deal with those orders one by one. So this is just the start. We're not stopping here. So what I've shown you is current and live. And we are still going to continue customer engagement and keep talking about what we want to do. So what's coming up based on some conversations and what we're going to keep doing as part of this is AI assisted order triage. So this is really exciting for us. AI is something that's really come about in leaps and bounds over the past few months, and we're really excited to put that into practice and help us with things like order triage. So imagine, you tell AI that, hey, every age collection order that's sitting there, send an email to the customer to remind them to pick it up. Or if there are reroutes sitting there, please reroute those to the nearest available dispatch location that can fulfill it. So in that way, it becomes a lot faster to deal with these. You can deal with them in batch. And you don't have to kind of deal with them one by one, so your team can spend time on other things. Automated alerts and notifications. Realistically, someone might only be looking at order triage twice a day sometimes. And if an order comes or if an order is a high priority order that ends up in triage and won't get looked at because this person is no longer looking at the screen, we thought we'd get some automated alerts and notifications which informs the person who's required to deal with these so they can actually deal with that at the time it's become an issue before it escalates. The last one on there, triage dashboard view. For me, this is really exciting because this is part of our UI update that's coming in the future. So I will actually switch to a screenshot of what we have coming. So here's something that we've got a concept of at the moment. And as you can see from the get-go, that it's kind of making it really visible as to which orders are in order triage to start with. So you can already see there's, 4 delivery, 6 click and collect. There's 2 not routed, back ordered, 1 priority 1 order. And the cool thing about this page now, what will happen is you can click on these tiles and it will filter the row down to that particular one so you can deal with that. So you don't have to go wading through it. You don't have to kind of really have to sort things or use drop downs to find it. You can just click on whatever you need and it will actually filter that list down for you. The other thing that we've added in here in terms of trying to add context so that you can deal with the order straight away is adding items numbers on the order row. So uh, uh, before I talked about, if you look at the notes and you are wanting to avoid that order, it actually helps if you know how many items are on that order without having to go through to the next row. So if it only has one item, you can with confidence cancel it. Or if it has two items, you might want to actually look into it and go, actually, it's just this item that's on back order that I want to cancel because this one here will be able to be fulfilled. So then you can open up the order and actually split that item out. The other thing we've got on here is times routed and sent to current DP. So times routed is how many times has this order actually been assigned to a dispatch location for fulfillment. If that number, is climbing, it's gone through 3 or 4 times it's been routed and maybe sent to the current DP twice, you can understand that, hey, it actually went to a location, they short picked it, it went back to the global pool, then it went somewhere else. And you can actually have the context of what's going with that order without looking into the notes and be able to cancel it there. So that's another cool feature. We've also got the age of that order up aside the date, so you don't have to kind of calculate that yourself. And then the reroute page. So if I go into the reroute page, we've improved the layout of there. And as a concept, initially we're thinking, we will let you know which ones are delivery and click and collects. You are able to see the order in a much cleaner view. The numbers are really highlighted, so you don't have to kind of calculate. What we've changed it to is if the stock on hand is 156 and on order is already 9, so you only have 147 available to promise. So if you have buffers in mind, you can just have a look and see if that's over the buffer. You'll be happy to kind of assign it to that particular location for it to be rerouted there. The other thing on here is we've added a flag to say only show DPs that do delivery. So if you're rerouting something and you only want to send it to somewhere that does delivery, that's a cool flag to have because you don't have to wade through all your other stores that do click and collect. So that's something that's coming. It's still in concept, but something that we're really excited about bringing to you guys to help improve this further. And like I said, we'll continue client engagement to kind of keep improving this process as we go. And the 5 categories that I mentioned, whilst that's something that we initially came up with, we're more than happy to kind of include other orders in there if you feel like, hey, there's also these type of orders that require us to have a look at and resolve before they become a problem. We'll put in settings to make sure that they appear on order triage for you to be able to deal with them as well. Before I go into Q&A, I just wanted to say, if you found this particular webinar helpful, just wanted to let you know that we've got upcoming webinar on the 25th of June around the order dashboard. So order dashboard is giving you real-time visibility into every order in the pick and pack process across every dispatch location. And you can join us for a walkthrough to how it keeps your team on top of fulfillment. So with that, we have come to the Q&A part of it, and I'll open up the floor for any questions that anyone has. Yes, Jonathan. Can't hear you at the moment.
So I think if you just type your question into the Q&A chat,
the Q&A
you'll be able to
chat,
see
yeah.
them.
Doesn't seem like anything's coming through at the moment. Everyone's putting their hand up. I'm just wondering if I can. Okay, allow me. There we go. Hopefully that. Colin. It doesn't seem to be coming through for some reason.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, yep, I can hear you guys now.
Nice. Jack's having audio problems. I'll hand the headset to him.
That's okay.
Hey, Naz.
Hey, how's it going?
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah.
Hey, I just curious. We try and really manage that age click and collect, and what we've been doing today is kind of using the report and then working off of that. Are you seeing that clients who use the order triage, are they finding it quicker, more effective way to deal with it?
Yeah, because I guess if you're having to run reports, just remember that at the time of running the report, that data basically then becomes 5 minutes later, if there's more stuff to deal with, it's now outdated. So people are also like, in terms of the report as well, you've got a paper in front of you or something. If you can, can you look down and see the items on that particular thing, the values of it, being able to see the notes on that particular order as to what's actually happened. Was that customer already contacted or not? So there's a lot of context that is provided on here to help you make the decision of, do I want to void this particular order now, or do I want to notify the customer? So you can go, okay, yeah, this one's high value. I want to keep notify the customer. So yeah, people are finding it a lot quicker to do it through here rather than running a report, because that kind of limits you in terms of what you can see and where you can go. Because the other thing you can do is you actually click through to the order from here, go to the order page and see more information if you need to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. So one of the challenges we have is geography, where what we're seeing in Viari might be, like this order received in store, your top line there for $7,500.
Yep.
Maybe it's split. And have you got any great insights, quick fixes to, we don't know what's actually in the store, because it could be that the work experience kid accidentally gave the whole order, $7,500 order, to the customer, but forgot to tell Viari this.
Yeah.
Do you have any insight into how to relate what's physically in the store and what's in Viari? Has anyone come to you and said, "Oh, we do this thing and it's amazing"?
Currently, we are looking at process. So this is basically if someone's come in for the click and collect order, someone's handed them the order, but on the click and collect screen, they just haven't marked it as collected.
Correct.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is processes around, we do use devices for picking. So we want to make sure that maybe the process of collection can be done via a device. So if someone who's sent, if there's a device near the click and collect locations, so once someone is giving something to them, they can just scan that order and say, this is now collected. So we're working on something to improve that process. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's, something that's come through client engagement. Like, obviously we see these things on here and people go, well, that's because of the process of people collecting it and not being marked as collected. Now, there's a couple of reasons. There is that, there's a work experience kid who doesn't know the process well, but also around peak times, we've noticed that, if someone is managing a till and there's someone waiting for a click and collect order, they have to get on the tannoy and go, hey, can someone pick out, order from location 54 for click and collect? Someone from back comes in and hands that order to that person while this other person's on the till dealing with someone else. And over time, they might forget to then mark it as collected. So that's another reason as well. So yeah, having more devices available that allows you to just go scan and go, yeah, this is collected, will be handy. And to do that also, we have something coming up on the roadmap to enable scanning on mobile phones, so you don't have to always rely on
Beautiful.
Zebra devices. Yeah,
Good on you. Thank you. I'll
that's all right.
shut up now. Thanks.
That's all good. Any other questions, guys?
And
Hi,
Naz,
Kim.
I'm not sure if you can see in the Q&A, we've got a question from Kim.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so without the customer receiving an email notification that it's been collected, that's probably something we will probably need to investigate further, because I know that's just part of the process for when something gets marked as collected, that a notification gets sent out to the customer. So I think we probably will need to look at it as part of a consolidation process for click and collect items that have been collected but not marked. And then as part of that consolidation, we can then ignore the step of where the customer gets notified.
Okay, and you can't. Can you hear me? I've just put my mic on.
Yeah, I can hear you, Kim. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
all good.
Does it do anything different if you go into the order and click on the drop down for complete rather than clicking it off in the click and collect section? Would that do anything different, or they're still going to get the notification that it's completed, or because it's
I'm not
not
sure about
necessarily,
that
we're
one,
kind of
Kim.
almost
I will-
missing the collected
Yeah, yeah.
part. We're skipping
Yeah.
that and just saying completed.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I will write that one down and check with the team and get back to you on that to see if there is that ability, if you did it from the actual order page, to see if that does it. But from what I know about it, there is like a structural thing in place to say when an order is completed, notify the customer. So it might still do that.
Okay, yeah, if you can get back to me, that'd be great. Thank you.
No worries. Cool. Anything else, guys? Awesome. Well, if that's all, then I'd like to thank you all again for joining us. Hopefully you can join us on future ones, or as I said, let us know if there's any other topics you'd like us to cover, and we'll go through that. Cool.
Very
Have a
good.
great day, and we'll
Thanks very
catch you
much.
guys later. Thanks, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.